And so having that idea backed by confidence, what advice do you have for the person that would push back on that and say, no, I only have $10 in my bank, and I'm having a hard time paying my bills. I can't. That place of victimization. What can you say to somebody who's in that place of victimization of like throwing the facts back at you, saying, "No, I only have this amount of money in my bank. I'm stuck. I don't. I only make this amount of money. I have 3 kids. I have to pay the bills." What advice do you have for someone in that place of victimization to flip them out into that place of empowerment, so that you have the ability to trust your decisions and your self-confidence increases, and therefore you have the money mindset?
Yeah. So when someone is in that position, first of all, this is what's real to him, and that's what's true for him. And you will see that there is a level of awareness, and that is his awareness. And what you do, you get a very light change in him. So what do? You say, okay, fine. So this is what it is for you. What could you do to improve your income from $10 to $10.01? You don't talk to him about $1 million, but 1 cent. Once he can see that he can improve in 1 cent, but he needs to see it, not you. You don't tell him. You get him to look. Because one of the major mistakes that teachers are doing, they're telling people what to think, how to think, what's right with them, what's wrong with them. No one can tell you what's wrong with you because you will not accept it. You would justify it. So, but if I will get you to look at what's right with you and what can you do to improve, you will see the thing will change. So the trick is you find out what's right about the person and you tell him, good, so I see that this is right and this is right and this is right and this is right. And you said that you want more money. What do you think you can do to get 1 cent more? And if he kicks back with 1 cent, go to 0.1 cent, because there's somewhere a gradient, a step that he can experience. Every time you get a kickback from a person, every time you get into argument, the only reason is that the step that you took, the gradient, was a little bit too much for that person. So if you...
I like that.
Yeah.
The gradient is too much for that person. That's a good visual.
It's just a step that is a little bit too much. It's true for negotiation. It's true for kids. It's true for anything. Like you have a business and you have a business partner, and you tell him, I really want 65% of the business, and you should get just 35%. And you are negotiating on how much percentage you're going to get for the new business that you're creating. And he kicks back, and he's like, whoa, crazy. It's just too high of a gradient. You need to agree with him on a few other steps before that. So you'll agree with him about how much work he will do and how much more you will do, and you agree with him on what you can bring and what is your value and whatever the gradient is. And once he will agree enough, you'll tell him again about the 65%. And all of a sudden, he will be more amenable for suggestion.
Wow. So basically what you're doing is you're creating the infrastructure in that specific situation of negotiation for that collaborative response on his part, because you've created that sense of, yes, I agree. We agree on these specific aspects, and that creates that flow, that energetic flow of conversation that builds the sense of collaborative, solution-based thinking.
Yeah, it's basically you did the ladder, and you need to climb the ladder. And I try to give him a ladder with steps that are too far apart. So these sub-agreements put together these ladders. And you'll see that the more agreement you have with the person, the more he likes you. It's quite interesting that there's a direct relationship, a direct connection between the level of liking or affinity or love to the level of agreement. You can love your kid, and there's no question about the fact that you love your kid, but if they do something that you do not agree with them, your affinity for them is dropping. Yes, momentarily, but it is dropping. And if they do a lot of things for a long time that you do not like or you are not in agreement with, you stop to like them. And it's quite amazing because I'm the father, I'm the mother, of course I like my kids. Yes, provided that you keep in agreement with them.
That's very powerful advice. And I wanted to mention something as well because we have about a little less than 10 minutes left here. You recently wrote something that caught my attention, and you referred to attention units. And I often speak about what is fueling procrastination, because again, an important element for positive, sustainable change is productivity in the moment and being acutely present to the task at hand. And I really enjoyed your take on these attention units. Can you speak a little bit about that as in line with not creating those energy leaks with too many things that you're doing in one time so you can move forward in a positive direction?
Yeah. So the definition of word control, or if we look at life generally, you will see that there is something that's called a cycle of action. A cycle of action is a start, change, and stop. A person born, he grows, and he's dying. He dies. By the way, I'm against it, but that's how it works. Anything, this interview start, there's a change, and the interview would stop. Everything in this life is start, change, stop, start, change, stop, start, change, stop. That's how life works. Now, the control is defined as the ability to start, change, and stop. That's control. So ability to start, change, and stop is control. Control equals income. So every time you start a cycle of action and you actually did not close it, you reduce your ability to control, or you reduce your control sphere of influence or sphere of control, and because of that, you reduce your income. How does it work technically is that when you are born with a certain amount of attention units or processes in your head. And basically, you can imagine that you have like a kind of a computer, and this computer has a number of processes. Every time you start a cycle of action, one of these processes has been stolen. It's busy now. And you open another one, and the next one is busy, and the next one is busy. And the more open cycles you have, the less processes you have left to handle the day-to-day environment. And like a computer, when you open too many programs in a computer, what will happen, the computer at the beginning will slow down, and if you continue to open processes, you will see that the computer will crash. So the reason you feel stress, the only reason you have stress, is because you have too many open cycles. Close those cycles of action and you will feel great. If you wake up one Sunday and you go to the office and you start to answer your emails, or you clean your home, or you organize your garage, or you do whatever, you start to be productive, and you close cycles of action, close, you will see that within a few hours you feel great. Nothing changed in your life. The problems are the same problems. Everything is the same, but you close cycle of action. You got more computing power. Now you can confront. The word confront means to look at something comfortably. Now you can look at something comfortably. You can confront the problems of life with more computing power. So you have this computing power that requires to handle life, where before that, this computing power was locked in all of those open cycles or open programs. And it's quite fascinating how easy it is to eliminate stress. You don't need you don't need anything. You just make a list of all the things that you need to do, or that are open in your life, everything, and just sit down and start closing them one by one, and all of a sudden two things will happen. You'll feel great, and money will just come to you.
Wow. Meir, I definitely noticed this, and just having the opportunity to listen to you teach. I believe that teaching is a gift from God, and I remember learning this in my postgrad work when one of the professors said, I will give you all of the skills for education in terms of the skills of being able to teach. However, I cannot give you the gift of teaching. And for me, it's the ability to make the complex simple, applicable, and sustainable. And you truly have that gift. I definitely appreciate your teaching style, and it really resonates with how I learn. And as you mentioned before, it's essential to get down to that simplicity of complete understanding in order to be able to use the information, understand it, and then use it easily and consistently in life. So I truly, truly appreciate the gift that you have in this world. And I'd like to end with, would you share with the listeners what you're working on, what work is God doing through your life these days, and where can people find out more information on what you're doing, your projects?
Yes, so what I'm working on, probably the most exciting program I'm working on is something that's called the Parent Academy. What we found is that we need to create peace and love to end the war between children and parents. And we found that this war exists only because parents have never been educated to be parents. They don't know how. They don't know what is the basic laws that govern the relationship between children and parents. For example, you ask most of the parents, what's happening with the kids? And they say, well, kids, they don't listen. And they're right, they don't listen because kids do not learn from listening. Kids learn from looking. And parents don't know that kids learn from looking. So the parents behave not nicely to his, brother, sister, friends, and they expect the kids to behave nicely to their sister or to themselves or to their friends. Of course they will not, because they're just mimicking. And parents don't know that. And there's lots of such things that parents don't know. So we put together a series of 70 lessons that we delivering weekly to our students. So when someone becomes my student, I teach him how to teach those 70 classes. And then these students put together in their area, wherever they live in, anywhere in the world, a kind of a group. And they teach their friends. And once their friends become understand the power of this technology, they want to learn more, and they obviously come to us to learn more, and then we make them teachers. And that's how we extend and starting to educate parents. We've been doing that in Israel for many, many, many years, and it is exceptionally successful. We're doing it with a person by the name of Danny Vadislavsky. He is the founder of this activity in Israel. And it is just unbelievable. The results are really amazing, and it's expanded very, very fast. And that's what we're doing here. And if you want to find me, all you have to do is to go to meirezra.com. So Meir is M-E-I-R, and Ezra is E-Z-R-A.com. And then you can see our services, you can register, etc. By the way, the word Meir, my name means in Hebrew to bring light into things, and Ezra means to help. And it's quite interesting because I really like to help. I consider it as the only value a person has in how much he can help.
Oh, absolutely. It's greater to give than receive. And that opens up that profound sense of peace that passes all human understanding when you step into that daily practice. I appreciate you making that statement at the close of our call today, because that is a huge gift for the world. Meir, thank you so much again for your incredible teaching this morning, and I know that it's going to be incredibly valuable to those who listen. And again, for those people that are desiring to seek more information on Meir as well as his incredible program, the Parent Academy, visit meirezra.com. That's M-E-I-R-E-Z as in zebra, R-A.com, meirezra.com. Meir, thank you again for your time this morning. And we all know that with all the recent studies, Harvard Medical recently came out with a study confirming that 80% of disease is stress-related. That's why I love the closing the cycle. Close your cycles in your life. Reduce the stress. And if you value your health, yet don't have the time to figure out how to de-stress, along with expanding your faith, clarity of focus, inner motivation, and solution-based thinking, then those members explore the different programs on StressSolutionsUniversity.com. And if you are not a member yet, I welcome you to explore joining StressSolutionsUniversity.com. When you join, you get to sponsor in for free someone you know going through the experience of cancer and or who is a wounded warrior. So enjoy your gift of life today. Re-listen to this interview. There's incredible information that when you allow it to drop into your life experience, even simply taking the closing the cycles recommendation, writing down everything that you have going on, and just focusing on one task at a time to close those cycles. And notice the sense of inner freedom and peace that begins to return. Meir, thank you again for today, and enjoy your gift of life.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
And so having that idea backed by confidence, what advice do you have for the person that would push back on that and say, no, I only have $10 in my bank, and I'm having a hard time paying my bills. That place of victimization. What can you say to somebody who's in that place of victimization, of like throwing the facts back at you, saying, no, I only have this amount of money in my bank. I'm stuck. I only make this amount of money. I have 3 kids. I have to pay the bills. What advice do you have for someone in that place of victimization to flip them out into that place of empowerment, so that you have the ability to trust your decisions and your self-confidence increases, and therefore you have money, have the money mindset?
Yeah. So when someone is in that position, first of all, this is what's real to him, and that's what's true for him. And you will see that there is a level of awareness, and that is his awareness. And what you do